Oh, come
on, take it.
What is it? What are you...
Take it.
Hey!
Now.
Pointed at my chest.
Point it at my chest. Do it now.
All right.
Put your finger on the trigger.
Come on, Charlie. Parallel.
I want to find and kill the people who murdered my wife.
I don't think you could beat a 90-year-old nun in an arm wrestling match.
Isn't it?
When the time comes, I'll pull the trigger.
When the time comes, you won't even remember which end of the gun the bullet comes out. Try it closer. Just a few rounds. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Did we test your vision?
Guess I just have to get that close.
Yeah, at point-blank range. Might have a 50-50 chance of hitting something.
Overestimating my odds?
Who are you?
You held the gun to my wife's head.
You have the wrong guy.
Yeah, I know. You didn't pull the trigger. Tell me where to find him. This is a remote that controls a device that's been decompressing the air between the sheets of glass beneath you. If I trigger it, the glass will shatter. So tell me where he is, or swim very fast.
You have the wrong person.
No, I have exactly the right person.
Charlie may look harmless, but he is far more dangerous than anyone expects. We then move back to C, who Charlie was before everything fell apart. In his garage, he is working on an old scrap plane that his wife once gave him as a gift. His wife, Sarah, walks in and reminds him that she is leaving for a business conference in London. She invites him to travel with her, but Charlie gently refuses, saying he still has work to finish. When her ride arrives, he walks her outside, kisses her goodbye, and even jokingly runs after the car as it drives away. At this moment, their life feels peaceful, normal, and completely safe. Later that day, Charlie arrives at CIA headquarters. After passing through heavy security, he enters the decryption and analysis department, where he works as a brilliant code expert. He soon receives a message from a mysterious informant he has known for years, using the code name Inquiline. Inquiline warns him that the file he is about to open contains extremely dangerous information that could compromise the entire agency. Charlie tries to access it, but keeps hitting error codes.
Be careful with this data. It's highly compromising for your agency.
How's the weather in Istanbul?
Nice try.
Just a matter of time.
You think? It's been 5 years, Charlie, and you're still guessing.
I'll get there. I like puzzles.
Not as much as I like anonymity.
If I had to guess, you're a 50-year-old Russian man living in Istanbul with an affinity for Reddit boards and Turkish coffee.
During lunch, his co-workers tease him about being friends with a tough field agent called the Bear, whose life Charlie once saved. Everything still feels routine, but that is about to change. Back at his desk, Charlie tries again to open the file. Sarah calls from London to tell him she arrived safely. He admits he already knows, because he tracked her flight himself. He promises to call her back once he finishes his work. Unable to crack the file, he sneaks into a restricted room reserved for senior staff, and uses a powerful supercomputer. After several attempts, he finally breaks through. What he finds completely shocks him. The file contains secret evidence of drone strikes disguised as suicide bombings. At least 150 people were killed, including French Special Forces and Danish Marines. Even worse, the entire operation was approved by Chief Moore, Charlie's own boss. For the first time, Charlie realizes the agency he trusts is hiding mass murder. Shaken and confused, he leaves the room and hints to his friend Carlos that he may have seen something he was never meant to see. That night, Charlie calls Sarah, but she does not answer. He leaves a voicemail telling her he misses her. The next morning, he walks into his office, and finds Chief Moore waiting for him. Moore calmly asks him to follow him to the director's office. There, the new CIA director reveals devastating news. There has been a terrorist attack in London, at the exact hotel where Sarah was staying. Charlie immediately denies it. He insists they should call her.
Charlie,
I'm very sorry, Mr. Heller.
your wife has been killed.
No, she's at a conference. We should call her.
Charlie, I'm
Can
very
we
sorry
call
to
her?
give you this.
I have to call her.
But Moore turns on the television and shows the live news report. For terrorists stormed the hotel, took hostages, and killed 2 people, including an American woman. When Moore pulls up the security footage, Charlie finally sees the truth. Sarah is dead. In a single moment, his entire world collapses. Later that day, Carlos drives him home as reporters swarm his street. Inside the silent house, Charlie cannot even cry. The next morning, he demands answers from Moore and his supervisor, Caleb. With nearly 1 million cameras in London, he refuses to believe the killers vanished without a trace. They promise justice, but offer no real progress. When Sarah's body is returned, Charlie opens her luggage and finds a small puzzle she bought for him, along with a loving message. This final gift completely breaks him. That night, he searches endlessly for information about the attack, but cannot bring himself to watch the video showing her final moments. Unable to sit still, Charlie returns to work and secretly investigates the attack himself. He hacks into the hotel's security system and rebuilds the entire timeline. The terrorists stole a clean vehicle, entered through a service door, and met with an Indonesian company called Impact Investment. An argument broke out, shots were fired, and hostages were taken. Sarah was only captured because she tried to save someone else.
Get down! No! Run!
They only took Sarah because she tried to save someone else.
Using voice and facial analysis, Charlie identifies the four attackers. One based in Moscow, one a former South African Special Forces soldier, one a former Armenian intelligence officer, and finally, the leader, the woman who personally killed Sarah. By processing every camera and audio source, Charlie uncovers her identity. Her name is Horst Schiller, a mercenary with ties to dozens of armed groups.
Sarah's killer is harder to track. He seems to sense the cameras, says nothing. But I processed all the CCTV, cell phones, dash cams, body cams, and the audio to give us a 360, and that provides us with an ID. This is Horst Schiller, loose affiliations with dozens of mercs and defense groups. I'm still filling that in.
When he presents this to Moore and Caleb, he realizes something terrifying. They already know all of this. They send him to therapy instead of taking action. There, Charlie admits his guilt and anger. He gave them the killers' names, and they chose to do nothing. The next day, Charlie hides a chip inside his ID badge, and secretly copies classified files from the agency. That evening, he sits alone in a bar, staring at an old jukebox, knowing his life is about to change forever. The following morning, Charlie confronts Moore and Caleb with proof of their illegal operations. He reveals that he has activated a dead man's switch. If he does not enter a code every 5 hours, the files will be sent to journalists and exposed to the world.
Convoy, you targeted our allies. I count more than 1,000 casualties and over 400 civilian fatalities.
It's only out of respect for your recent loss that I'm not throwing you out of this office.
When they ask what he really wants, Charlie gives his final answer. He does not want the agency to kill the terrorists. He wants to do it himself. For the first time, they realize this quiet analyst is no longer a victim. He is becoming something far more dangerous. Henderson warns Charlie that there is only a slight chance he may survive this mission. Then he corrects himself, saying even that might be an overestimate.
The hell you doing? I'm not an Uber driver.
Sorry.
There's a slight chance you may come out of this alive.
Only a slight chance.
I've overestimated your odds to boost your confidence.
While Charlie trains, back at the agency, Caleb and his team panic as they try to figure out how Charlie smuggled classified files out of the building.
My bad if he's bluffing.
Man has an IQ of 170. Let's not assume.
CCTV shows nothing in his hands. They search his office, his desk, even his home, but find nothing. One analyst suggests he used a skimmer, possibly through a printer. Another argues their systems are too secure, but then they realize something terrifying. If Charlie rewrote the printer software, he could have extracted the data without anyone noticing. They still cannot understand how he got the chip past the scanners. Reviewing CCTV again, they notice Charlie buying a magnetic strip. Moore jokes that maybe he swallowed the chip, but even that should have been detected. With no answers left, they admit Charlie outsmarted them. At the training facility, Charlie begins firearms training, and it goes horribly. No matter how hard he tries, he cannot hit the target. Even when Henderson brings him closer, he still misses. Only at point-blank range does he finally manage a single hit. But the next day, when he trains with improvised explosives, everything changes. Charlie builds a homemade bomb almost effortlessly. For the first time, Henderson realizes this quiet analyst has one deadly talent. Henderson then drills him on fake identities under extreme pressure and prepares multiple forged passports for him. Meanwhile, at headquarters, Caleb notices something strange on CCTV. Charlie visited the same bar twice, including the day he copied the files. A second search of the bar reveals a hidden CD inside the jukebox. They begin trying to break Charlie's encryption, but it takes hours. Back at the facility, Henderson finds Charlie staring at photos of his wife's killers. He asks how Charlie plans to defeat trained mercenaries while also running from the CIA. Charlie admits that is exactly what he hopes Henderson will teach him. Henderson loads a gun, hands it to him, and orders him to point it at his own chest and pull the trigger. Charlie freezes. Henderson snatches the gun away and tells him the truth. He is not a killer, and no amount of training will change that.
confident or very stupid, which is its own kind of confidence. Truth is, you don't have that kind of confidence, and you are not stupid, not in the slightest. You're just not a killer.
That night, Charlie listens through a hidden bug he planted in Moore's office. Hours later, the CIA finally cracks the CD and realizes the truth. Charlie was bluffing about the dead man's switch.
It's a bluff.
He was playing us, and he did pretty well, too.
Enraged, Moore gives the kill order. Henderson storms into Charlie's room, but the bed is empty. Charlie has escaped using a janitor's card and taken a bag full of passports with him. Moore then discovers the real betrayal. The physical Black Ops file Charlie slammed on the desk contains the true listening device. As Moore speaks, Charlie hears the message while boarding a plane. He has already left the country.
Mr. Heller.
Bugging a CIA officer is treason.
Charlie arrives in London, then quickly moves on to Paris using a fake identity. Back at the CIA, the system flags one of his forged passports. Caleb wants to alert European authorities, but Moore shuts it down and orders Henderson to handle it quietly. In Paris, Charlie checks into a hotel overlooking a small cafe, where Gretchen appears every day. He hacks her phone remotely and plants a tracker. That night, he sneaks into her apartment using a tutorial to pick the lock. Inside, he photographs her calendar and finds a gun in a drawer. When the couple suddenly returns, Charlie barely escapes. The next night, Charlie confronts Gretchen in the hallway and points the gun at her, but he cannot pull the trigger. Terrified by his own weakness, he flees. Studying her calendar, Charlie notices a hospital appointment. He learns she is seeing an allergy specialist. The next morning, he buys every flower from a shop and waits across from the hospital.
All of them, please. The lilies as well, please. I'll get all of them.
You must have done something really bad.
Not yet.
When Gretchen enters, he follows her inside. During her treatment, Charlie causes a power outage, locks her inside a respiratory chamber, and pumps pollen into the room. As she begins to suffocate, he begs her to reveal Horst Schiller's location. At the last moment, Charlie breaks. He opens the chamber. Gretchen attacks him and escapes into the street, where a speeding van slams into her, killing her instantly. In shock, Charlie grabs her phone and disappears. Back at the CIA, Director O'Brien confronts Moore. The French ambassador is demanding answers. Moore denies any involvement. That night in Marseilles, Charlie drinks heavily in a nightclub until he spots Henderson approaching. He runs, hides in a bathroom, and prepares to face him. Henderson reveals he tracked him through Gretchen's phone. He admits Charlie has survived longer than expected, but his orders remain the same. Charlie shows him a countdown timer. It reaches 0. A bomb explodes in the bathroom. In the chaos, Charlie escapes. Exhausted and alone, Charlie sleeps outside. The next morning, he contacts Inquiline and begs for help. Following coded instructions, he boards a cargo plane and reaches Istanbul. At a small cafe, a woman hands him a book and tells him he has the wrong person. Moments later, she reveals herself as Inquiline. She explains that her husband, a former KGB officer turned CIA asset, was the original Inquiline and was killed years ago. Before his death, he trained her in everything.
It's better than any alarm system.
They retreat to her isolated home and study Schiller's network. They identify Lawrence Elish as the weapons trafficker, too paranoid to approach directly. Inquiline volunteers to lure him with a fake arms deal. They also analyze Mishka, the weakest link, and trace him to Madrid using social media and flight data.
Okay, perhaps I can start a conversation. Suggest I have a contract for him. See if he will engage.
Back at the CIA, Caleb orders constant surveillance on the remaining targets, certain Charlie will strike again. Finally, Director O'Brien meets Moore for lunch and warns him bluntly. She knows he has a history of secret black ops. Moore smiles calmly and promises full cooperation, just as he has promised every director before her.
Predecessor sat me down at this very same table no more than a week into his term and gave me pretty much this exact same speech. Oh wait, maybe it was his predecessor. I can't remember. Anyway, I'll tell you what I told them. You have my full support.
And with that, the hunt continues. When O'Brien gets into her car, her assistant shows her new intel. Henderson has been spotted in Madrid. She asks, on whose orders? Learning that Moore sent him, she immediately orders one of her own agents to shadow Henderson, keeping Moore in the dark. Meanwhile, Charlie and Inquiline successfully track Mishka to a hotel in Madrid. They tap into the hotel's security feed, watching him in real time. Charlie knows Moore's team is likely monitoring Mishka too, but he insists on moving forward. He asks Inquiline to keep an eye out for Henderson, identifying him as the one they need to watch. The next day, Charlie arrives at the hotel to observe Mishka's routine. He discovers that Mishka swims alone at night in the rooftop suspended pool. Charlie studies the pool and its glass enclosure carefully, deciding on a controlled and brutal method rather than simply shooting Mishka. Meanwhile, Henderson closes in, calling Moore and suggesting they spare Charlie. Moore insists the situation is too risky to ignore.
For me to say here, boss, but why bury him? Why not just roll him up?
We're past that. Too big of a stench.
Look, he practically invented half of our surveillance tech. Now I will find him. But you might have a bigger stench on your hands if he gives us the slip again.
You won't let that happen.
Charlie gathers supplies and builds a device to compromise the rooftop pool. By nightfall, everything is ready. He follows Mishka through the hotel, unaware Henderson is already close. In the lobby, Charlie notices a man tailing him and quietly asks in Qualine, via earpiece, to run facial recognition. She quickly spots Henderson on the security feeds, approaching fast, along with another CIA agent sent by O'Brien. Qualine urges him to abort, but Charlie refuses. The show must go on. Charlie reaches the rooftop and confronts Mishka in the pool, demanding the location of Schiller, revealing he is the husband of the woman Mishka helped murder. He shows Mishka a small remote, explaining that he has been decompressing the air between the glass layers and one press will shatter the entire structure. Mishka panics and tries to climb out, but Charlie hits the button. The glass cracks, then explodes, and Mishka plummets to his death. Qualine urgently tells Charlie to escape. As Henderson closes in, she directs him toward the basement, but Henderson intercepts him just in time. Before Henderson can grab him, the second CIA agent tackles him, and the two engage in a brutal fight. Henderson swings a baton while the agent slashes with a knife. Charlie watches as Henderson slams the agent's head into a washing machine. The agent pulls a hidden gun and shoots Henderson in the stomach. Henderson wrestles the gun away and fires into the agent's head, killing him. Charlie hesitates, wanting to help, but Qualine pleads with him to run, so he does. Back at CIA headquarters, O'Brien summons Moore. She asks where Charlie is, and Moore claims he is still on bereavement leave and unreachable. O'Brien looks at her screen and sees Charlie at the Madrid hotel, realizing Moore has been playing a double game. Elsewhere, Caleb and his team study the same image. They conclude Charlie wasn't acting alone. He was communicating with someone, and by digging into the hacked hotel system and encrypted chats, they identify his partner, a 50-year-old man named Qualine, based in Istanbul. Caleb orders his location pinpointed. That afternoon, Charlie is outside feeding the guinea fowls when Qualine joins him, gently asking how he's holding up. Charlie admits he handled this mission better than the first. Qualine quietly shares that after her husband died, she filled the silence with work, and she wonders if Charlie is doing the same. Meanwhile, Caleb and his team uncover that the real Qualine was a 50-year-old former Russian intelligence officer, who later worked for the CIA, but has been dead for years. New intel suggests his widow may be operating under his code name. Caleb immediately orders a direct line open to Russian intelligence in Istanbul. That night, Charlie is asleep on the couch when Qualine approaches. Admitting she hasn't slept beside anyone in a long time, he invites her to lie next to him, and she curls up against him. Suddenly, the guinea fowls screech, and she bolts upright. She sees Russian operatives silently infiltrating her property. She and Charlie escape through a hidden exit, sprint to her car, and speed away as the Russians open fire. After intense moments, the gunfire stops, but a Russian patrol boat appears along the shoreline. A single precise shot hits Qualine, killing her instantly. Shocked and devastated, Charlie drags her body into the passenger seat, drives off, gives her a final kiss on the forehead, and leaves her behind at a quiet garage. While sitting at a small cafe, Charlie receives a message from Lawrence Ellish on Qualine's phone, agreeing to buy the missile she had pretended to be selling. Determined, Charlie buys a new phone and laptop, and messages Ellish a meeting point in Romania. He hitches a ride on a cargo truck heading there. Before Ellish arrives, Charlie scans his own face and hacks European security systems, creating fake appearances on surveillance feeds, throwing the agents completely off his trail. When Ellish finally arrives, Charlie calls the phone left on a chair. He instructs Ellish to open a box containing the missiles. As Ellish lifts the lid, an IED Charlie built activates. Charlie steps out and confronts him, demanding Schiller's location in exchange for defusing the bomb. Terrified, Ellish reveals Schiller is usually on his yacht in Russian waters, delivering weapons to Primorsk, a major Baltic port, and contacts Schiller's men, Simon and Christoph, using a secret numerical code. Charlie takes the phone, code, and names, and walks away, ignoring Ellish's desperate pleas.
Where you going? You jump really fast. You might survive the blast.
Please, wait!
At CIA headquarters, Caleb realizes Charlie is using random CCTV appearances to throw them off. When news of Ellish's death arrives, he immediately concludes Charlie is responsible. Later, Charlie arrives in Primorsk by boat. He rents a room and finally solves the puzzle Sarah left behind. The next morning, at the seaport, he spots a suspicious pickup truck. 3 men exit, and Charlie sends the secret code to one of Elish's numbers. One man instantly checks his phone. They are Schiller's crew. Charlie tails them as they load bags onto a small boat. He snaps a photo of the vessel, then ducks into a nearby cafe and runs into the bear. Confused, Charlie asks if he's there to kill him, but the bear calmly says no, admitting Charlie has surprised him.
Think they're gonna let you leave Russia? I mean, how does that even work? How do you leave here? The only way you leave here is in a box, but if you walk out of here right now, with me, I can help you.
The bear warns Charlie that leaving Russia won't be easy.
What are you looking for?
I don't know, my assassin.
Your assassin. Yeah, what do you think? What does an assassin look like? I mean, it can't be anyone, huh? I mean, even a slight little nerdy fellow likes to work on computers.
But Charlie insists he can't quit until he finds the man who pulled the trigger. The bear understands, stands up, and walks away. That night, Charlie buys a smartwatch, tape, pliers, and other tools, and traces the boat's registration number back to Schiller's yacht. The next morning, he approaches one of Schiller's men, casually asking about his partners, but the man shrugs him off. Charlie studies Schiller's sea routes and the Gulf of Finland. The following morning, while watching the crew, one man creeps up behind Charlie and knocks him out, causing Sir's puzzle to fall. They take Charlie to Schiller's yacht, where he finally comes face to face with Horst Schiller. Schiller holds up a bomb Charlie planted earlier, scoffing that he's insulted. Charlie thought something so primitive could kill him. Charlie calmly tells him he knows about the secret Black Ops missions Schiller carried out for Moore and Caleb, but that's not why he's here. He reveals the real reason. Schiller murdered his wife Sarah, and he wants revenge. Schiller explains, calmly, that Sir's death wasn't personal, but necessary. Police were blocking their route, so he killed her to send a message. He even apologizes, claiming she died bravely.
You are not so different to me. Killing these people to find your way here to me. Has it made you feel better?
I won't know till I've killed you.
It was an instant. Your wife?
No, it wasn't.
That you tortured my colleagues, dropped a man 16 stories, suffocated a woman in a locked chamber. Your elaborate murders from a distance. And you know why? I do. Because it's hard to take a life up close.
Then he shifts the conversation, asking why Charlie killed his men from a distance in such brutal ways. Schiller smirks, saying it's because Charlie can't take a life up close. To prove it, he hands Charlie a loaded gun. Charlie grips it, raises it toward Schiller, but lowers the weapon. He tells Schiller that killing him quickly would be too easy. He wants Schiller to feel the same powerless fear Sarah felt. Suddenly, the yacht lurches violently. Schiller demands to know what's happening. Charlie reveals he has taken control of the yacht's navigation system, rerouting it into Finnish territorial waters, and transmitting their coordinates to authorities.
Watch. So, I'm the transmitter, and you invited me in. I just needed you to talk as long as it took to get us here.
Schiller calls the bluff, insisting the yacht system is CIA designed and unhackable, but Charlie just smiles. He is the one who built the CIA's encryption. Moments later, Finnish Navy vessels and Interpol teams surround the vessel. Officers board, disarm the crew, and arrest everyone, except Charlie, the anonymous whistleblower who tipped them off. The next day, O'Brien addresses a massive press conference. News breaks about the illegal drone strikes disguised as suicide bombings, and years of unauthorized Black Ops missions. High-ranking officials, including Moore and Caleb, are arrested. O'Brien vows full transparency. When reporters ask about the whistleblower, she confirms they are safe, and still with the agency. Later, Charlie visits Sir's grave, and gently places flowers. After his shift, he's surprised to find Henderson in his car. Henderson says he's proud that Charlie acted when no one else would. Charlie says, "Everything you taught me." Henderson responds, "No, what you've done, what you've become, can't be taught." He promises they'll see each other again and quietly walks away.
Everything you taught me.
No. What you've done, what you've become, can't teach that.
In the final scene, Charlie enters his garage. His Cessna plane, the one Sarah gifted him, has finally been repaired. And with that, our story comes to a close. Let us know in the comments how you liked this explanation, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.